Okay, he's back, our baseball analyst, our World Series analyst, Andrew Albers, former Major League pitcher who originally hails from just outside North Battleford, Saskatchewan. Do we start with Yesavage last night, Andrew, and how wild that was?
Yeah, unbelievably impressive. I mean, for a kid that's 22 years old to go out there and show the poise and composure that he had and rebound after probably what I would say was the shakiest playoff start in Game 1 where he just wasn't sharp. He was really good last night, and that was pretty impressive to watch. And he navigated that lineup incredibly well. Obviously, a lot of the numbers back it up. I think he punched out 12, didn't walk anybody. Just a really special outing from a kid who's been outstanding for him.
When they talk so much about in the post-game show about didn't have a feel for his split in Game 1. Obviously, that's a pitch, and it's his major pitch. For the casual fan, like, how do you lose that? How do you know you don't have that? And then how do you know when you have it back?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, you never know when you're going to have it or when you don't. Sometimes you just have that feel on a certain day, or every once in a while you go out there and the mechanics just aren't quite right, or the ball's not quite coming out of the hand right. Especially for a pitch like a split. It wasn't one that I threw. I really struggled with it. I tried at one point when I went down overseas. But, like, a lot of things can impact that. It can be how sticky the ball is or humidity, how much sweat you have on your hand, and if you're able to kind of control that. So many different things factor into that. And sometimes with those pitches, if the mechanics are off just a little bit, they translate into big misses. And he had a lot of big misses with it in Game 1. And last night it was way, way better. And, obviously, again, the numbers reflected that. And again, kudos to him, because to be 22 years old and show that kind of poise and just attack guys and be that confident, it was really impressive to watch.
How much would adrenaline play into those maybe the first inning, maybe the first couple of innings when it comes to velocity?
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much a velocity deal with the adrenaline. It's more, are you able to calm yourself down enough to get into the adjustments that you need to make to command the baseball? Again, you get used to the adrenaline. I would certainly imagine for Game 1, he had a little bit more nerves than normal even. But maybe having had that start, he was able to control that a little bit better the second time out and knew what that feeling was going to be like. And again, responded just tremendously well. And the velocity, I don't think it necessarily bumps up the velocity. It might cause you to try a little bit harder. Mm-hmm. That doesn't always translate into velocity, and sometimes it causes your mechanics to be just a little bit off. And I think we saw a little bit of that in Game 1. And, again, he obviously fixed that last night for Game 5.
So yesterday on the show, we didn't talk to you, but it was in Game 4, and people were talking about, and it was even my son we're just starting to watch really baseball with us. He's like, hey, did you know Shohei Ohtani's got 7 pitches? And then we talked about it on the show, and we're just kind of trying to wrap our brains around this. And then it's like, we got to ask Andrew about a guy that has so many pitches, which most of us, Andrew, didn't even know there was that many pitches.
Yeah, 7's a lot. I mean, I keep saying things about Shohei that I never thought I'd say before, and normally I would say 7's too many. You got Chris Bassett who does it as well, but again, Shohei's got such good stuff that if he masters 4, he's going to be incredibly hard to hit. If he masters 3, he's going to be incredibly hard to hit, right? Like you see most starters have 3 pitches. Usually you have a fastball, you have a breaking ball of some sort, and then if you have a splitter, change up, something that kind of goes the other way. If you can do all 3 of those things, it causes really good tunnels, so it's really tougher for hitters to sit on a particular pitch, and if you can throw them all for strikes, it makes it real tough on hitters. To have 7 or 8, I don't even know where you go from there. I threw 4. That's because none of them were very good, so I needed the extra pitch every once in a while to try to get through that third time through the order. But I didn't have Shohei's kind of stuff. So, again, to have 7, obviously he executes them. I'm not even sure what they all are. I would imagine 4-seam, 2-seam cutter, which are all types of fastballs. He throws the split. Then you think he's got 2 different breaking balls. He's got kind of the curveball and the sweeper, maybe 2 sliders. I'm not exactly sure. But that's a lot of pitches to master and to execute really, really well. You don't get unlimited reps on the mound. Mm-hmm. So, the ones that you do have, you want to make sure you're maximizing them, and trying to perfect or be really comfortable with 7 pitches is really difficult.
A lot of people are making, and it was Buck Martinez who called it, Alejandro Kirk's visit to the mound as a pitcher. What would that be? Just to calm down, to kind of go through things here? How would that visit have gone that was so key in the game?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that go into it. Again, you're trying to give the pitcher a breather. had just given up a couple hits. Maybe he noticed something where the mechanics were off just a little bit. Probably not something that's going to be addressed there, but it's probably more just hey, you're fine. Mm-hmm. Go back, whether it's get to the bottom or the small adjustment that he makes with the splitter, whatever that is, and get us out of here. It's kind of a confidence builder meeting. Might talk about what pitch you want to throw first. It's a little bit different now with PitchCom. You don't have as much shaking. I know my meetings with catchers used to go that way. It's like if they came out after we gave up a couple hits, you got a guy in scoring position. The one part of the discussion was always, okay, what are we going to throw first pitch right here? And so, that might have been part of it as well. And really, again, it's just to kind of give that pitcher the moment to reset and refocus and get back to where he needed to be. And obviously, it worked really well.
I don't know if they heard us on the Sports Cage and you talking the other day, but you said you wouldn't necessarily always walk Ohtani. You would kind of pitch around him. You'd pitch to him, and that's what they've been doing. Like, why did we think that all they were going to do now is just automatically give him the base, 4 balls, put him on? But what we've seen in the last 2 games is them pitching at him.
Again, like he is human, right? And you do have to go after him because he's such a good base runner as well. He can steal bases. All of a sudden, he can turn a walk into a double in a hurry. If especially with the new rules where you can't pick over that often. The guy stole 50 bags last year, so it's not a guy that you can just go up there and walk. Mm-hmm. He is a guy you circle in the lineup, especially the way Betts and Freeman are swinging it right now, that you're not going to let beat you. So he comes up in a big spot. You're absolutely going to pitch around him. You're absolutely going to try to make sure that he isn't the guy that beats you. The other thing with that is solo home runs rarely beat you in a game. Every once in a while they will, but rarely a solo homer beats you. So as long as you're attacking, and you just got to stay out of the middle of the zone. Like, obviously, you got to make good pitches. Hitters like that feast when they get ahead in the count, and they get to look for their particular pitch, and that's where they tee off and do a lot of damage. So if you can get ahead, it forces him to expand a little bit. And now all of a sudden you're kind of in the driver's seat, and that's a big key when you face hitters like that. Is you got to find a way to get ahead in the count. You got to get strike one, and that allows you to have some success there. Instead of if you're 2-0, 2-1, and he gets to sit on a certain pitch, and in a certain location, no less, he becomes incredibly difficult.
I don't care if it was the majors, the playing in the minors, or even when you're playing senior men's ball or whatever. You ever give up back-to-back leadoff home runs?
Actually, I did. Ironically enough, in 2016, I started the year a little bit late with the Twins. They pulled me out of indie ball, and my first start, this was the first start of the season in AAA, I faced Ben Gamble and Aaron Judge from Scranton, and they both took me deep. And I thought, oh boy, this could be a short stint here if I don't get it figured out. Luckily, the rest of the game went a lot better. So I know I've done it once. That's the only time I can recall, but it's happened to me one time for sure.
Yeah, that was wild. Okay, looking at everything's moving back to Toronto. I almost feel that it was a little bit too much last night. Okay, we're going back to Toronto to wrap things up. This thing's far from over, especially with who the Dodgers have on the bump tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to play with Yamamoto 3 years in Japan, and he's really good. And it's really neat for people to get to see him on the national stage here. The thing that I always say was when he was in Japan, guys went up and it seemed like they were swinging wet newspapers because they just never barreled them up. Nothing he throws is straight. Everything moves a little bit, and he does such a good job staying off of the barrel. And you've seen that in his last 2 starts. Obviously, he's pitching with a lot of confidence right now. That's going to be a battle. The Jays are really going to have to try to work that pitch count up early, try to get into that pen, because I don't think they're going to get a lot off of Yamamoto. And hopefully Gausman can go out and have a good outing and give him a chance.
Is there a lot of coaching or manager input at this point as we go into this series here, or is it just athletes being athletes?
You have your scouting reports. There's no question about that. I would imagine every starting pitcher goes over it with the pitching coach, especially before games. And then the hitters will have their hitters meeting every day before the game as well to talk about the starter. There's not a ton that goes in there. Everyone's going to have a little bit different approach. Everyone's going to have, probably have watched their at-bats against these starters previously as well. And everybody gets approached a little bit differently based on their swings, based on how aggressive they are, all of those things that go into it. So you have your pregame meetings. They're pretty short, 15, 20 minutes, and come up with a game plan. I would imagine those are happening right now in the playoffs. And then, you kind of go from there. After that, it's who can make the adjustments throughout the game and who can take advantage of the mistakes that get made.
Okay, last one for you, Andrew. Tomorrow night, would you expect everybody's available to pitch for the Blue Jays, or some guys maybe would still be a no-go?
Well, Bieber will be a no-go because he'd be their game. Or sorry, Scherzer. Scherzer will be a no-go. Yeah. He'll be their Game 7 starter. Bieber likely a no-go as well, I would think. Other than that, Lauers might need one more day as well. He might be able to come in for an inning. I think he threw 6 or 7. Other than that, I would say pretty much everybody's up.
All right,
so, they should be in pretty good shape that way. As long as they don't have another 18-inning marathon, they should have plenty of arms, and hopefully they can find a way to get the job done.
It could make for an interesting Halloween night. Celebrations on Albert Street here in Regina, 8th Street in Saskatoon. I know you'll probably be out there honking your horn and waving the flag.
Right, that'll be me. All right, just imagine what it'll be like in Toronto.
Yeah, no doubt, off the charts. All right, man, I know you're busy. We really appreciate this. Great insight once again, and let's see how it shakes down starting tomorrow night.
All right, thanks for having me, Barney. Go Jays.